Bubble, bubble, toil, and trouble. This week, we look back at the Disney Channel original movie, Halloweentown, for our first movie in October for Wreck My Halloween. So this is the first week of October, even though it's technically September 29th right now. But this will be coming out the first week of October. And to commemorate that, because what is October best known for, guys?
My mom's birthday on October 5th.
Cam's mom's birthday, my mom's birthday, and Halloween.
Also Halloween.
Yes. So we started off with a movie that lost the first round when we were doing polls, but we decided we wanted to watch it anyway.
I don't know how it could have
Screw
lost.
you people.
Yeah,
we're watching it anyway. Yeah, so this is Halloweentown, which is a great Disney Channel original movie.
100%.
This goes back to our roots because the first episode of the show was Johnny Tsunami, also a Disney Channel original movie.
Oh,
so now we're getting into our second Disney Channel original movie, and we have Cam and Madison here instead of a bunch of other of my friends who didn't know what they were doing at the time, and none of us knew what we were doing back then because it was crazy.
Yeah, when did this come out?
The Johnny Tsunami one in April.
No, not that.
Oh,
this
Halloweentown? Halloweentown came out in October of 1998.
Oh, cool.
It was one of the first Disney Channel original movies, actually. Before that, they were called Disney Premiere Movies. And then they rebranded it as Disney Channel Original Movies, and this was like the fourth one that came out after the rebranding.
Okay.
So
So you were actually older. You were like almost 10.
Yeah.
We were 9.
Yeah, 9. Yep.
Okay,
we
I
were
was
9,
not that old.
when this came out. Before that, and it's funny because I don't remember the nomenclature being different. I just refer to them all as Disney Channel original movies.
When you said, what'd you say, like a Disney Channel premiere?
Premiere film is what they called it.
Rung a weird bell, like
Yeah.
deep in my consciousness just now. Like that I was like, oh, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
That's so
But-
funny.
Because do you remember Paper Brigade?
Yeah, Paper Brigade
That was
amazing.
a premiere film. That was
Remember-
before.
Do you remember the part with all the geese?
Yes, they released the geese. Wasn't it a famous person who played the crazy dude at that house?
Yeah, and I can't remember.
I can't remember
it is.
who it was either.
Remember when
I just
Philip
remember-
Seymour Hoffman played that guy in Paper Brigade?
Did he really? No. Oh, you're just saying. Joe.
Oh my gosh.
I honestly thought it was like Bill Murray or something.
It wasn't Bill Murray. It wasn't someone that big, but it was someone.
I thought it was someone.
It was someone else.
You know who it was? I think it's the guy who does Iago's voice
That would
in
be-
Aladdin. What's his name? Gilbert Gottfried.
It's not Gilbert
You don't think
Gottfried.
it's Gilbert
Is it
Gottfried?
Gilbert?
He's like, I'm the Paper Brigade. Rah, rah, rah.
Can you do that one more time while I record it?
Nope, I am not doing that again.
Okay.
So this.
I'll get the footage.
Yeah,
for
there you
can.
go.
Okay, thank you.
So
Madison.
yeah, to introduce my guests here, even though I already introduced them, we have my wife Madison. She's sweeter than a pillowcase full of candy. We have Cam in his finest onesie right now as a skeleton, and he could be a trick and a treat.
Oh yeah, I can.
And then
my gosh.
I am candy corn personified. My name is Jordan. And we were just saying today how much we both don't like candy corn.
That is
Oh,
true.
I love candy corn.
Oh, do you like candy corn?
Yeah.
See, okay, so
I
here's
like the way it looks.
yeah, here's a big debate in the Halloween world that's very divisive. You either love candy corn or you hate candy corn. There's no in between. No in between. And I'm on the fence. I think as a kid I actually enjoyed eating it, but as an adult I'm just like, this tastes weird.
What is it even made of?
Yeah, I don't know what it's supposed to taste like.
I don't even know what else. It would even be.
But what is
like.
it supposed to taste like? Like what kind of? Because candy corn is it
It's supposed to
be
taste.
corn?
No, it's supposed to taste like corn syrup.
Is that what it is? It's just corn
That's just what
syrup?
it is. It's just corn syrup.
I guess since we just eat so much corn syrup, we don't even.
It don't even
think
phase
twice
us
about
anymore.
it.
It's just in everything we use now.
All right, so the dude that played the crazy guy in Paper Brigade was Robert Englund, and do you know who that is?
The dude who played Freddy Krueger, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
That is funny. Okay, it's weird that I remembered a famous dude doing that, but I did not know who Freddy Krueger was at that age. There's no way I knew who Freddy Krueger was.
No, but I think we just know now.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Like maybe it's a fact I read on like a BuzzFeed article or something and it just stuck, you know? Because most of my fun facts come from BuzzFeed articles about this.
People should watch the YouTube version right now to see me dressed in a full skeleton onesie getting licked by a dog.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say
That's
she
happening.
hopped up here and burped on you. And was like, I was like, okay,
she does
cool.
the weirdest things. Our dog, she'll like look at you with these loving eyes and all of a sudden just like have this crazy big burp. And you're like, what did that come
It's
from?
a woman after my own heart.
There you go.
Yes.
She knows it.
Watch out,
so,
Jess.
Yep. So we watched Halloweentown,
Yes.
and I will throw in the trailer somewhere around here or whatever, like now or now or now. And so that movie...
Do it after the second.
Yeah,
now.
after the second now. I'll put it right in the middle of the nows.
Yeah.
So can you guys guess what score this got on Rotten Tomato? Granted, it's only an audience
good
score.
thing.
There's no critic score because this didn't get theatrically released or
Right.
anything. So it's based off of 30,584 users that gave it this score. So what do you guys think it's at? And you can not like specific. Give me like frames, like 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 50 to 60, like that type of range. Where do you think it lies?
I think 80 to 90.
80 to 90?
I'll go
Okay.
60 to 70.
60, 70? Okay. 72%.
Okay.
So you both were kind of like on the opposite
Yeah.
ends of where it really was lying.
Yeah.
72% by 30,500 and
That's
some
pretty
people.
good.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
not bad.
No, that's like a solid C.
That's a solid and there's some movies that like that I think that's good for Rotten Tomatoes.
What did I say before this when I went, hey guys, it's exactly how you remember from when you were a kid?
Yeah,
Like
you said it was a 7 out of 10.
You did.
You got it right
so
on the
he
dot.
was really right.
Right on the dot. So this was a movie that was directed by Dwayne Dunham. And it's okay if you don't know who that is because many people don't know who that is.
Dunham.
Dunham. Good one. So he worked as an editor for Twin Peaks and
Awesome.
Return of the Jedi.
Awesome.
The Twin Peaks
Twin
that we
Peaks-
went to.
No. Okay, so quick story. Cam, do you know the restaurant Twin Peaks?
No, I only know the David Lynch series.
Okay, so there is a restaurant
That's
called
what I
Twin
was thinking
Peaks.
of when
and
we
yeah,
saw
that's
Twin
all we know.
Peaks.
And I've seen this restaurant in like Vegas and stuff. I've
Okay.
never been inside one. And its thing is dinner with like
A scenic view.
or something. Or,
Okay.
So I'm
And it
assuming
looks very woodsy on the
Yeah, it looks very
outside.
woodsy on the outside. It looks unassuming. And so when we were in Texas recently, there was one across from our hotel, and we were like, oh, we've been traveling all day. We've been out looking at things. We're tired. Let's go. Let's just go. It's probably like a good restaurant, whatever. Let's check it out. So we go in there. I am just talking to Madison and don't even realize anything. And she goes-
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I honestly didn't until she pointed it out because we were in there for maybe a minute. But she was like, oh, it's like a Hooters.
They
and
literally were only in like thongs.
They were like
and,
lingerie
a little,
underwear.
And then Jordan looks at me and he goes, haha, scenic views. and
No, I
walked
said
out.
Twin Peaks. I
Yeah,
got
Twin
the joke.
Peaks,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, Twin Peaks.
Oh,
That's awesome.
gosh,
So
horrible.
I get it. I thought Twin Peaks was just like an Outback Steakhouse.
We
like,
both thought
Right.
it was going to be like a mural of
yeah,
something scenic.
I legitimately thought, yes, murals and stuff on the wall, scenic
Bailey
view.
does not believe you.
No clue
No,
that this place was like
Bailey's
like
suspicious.
yeah. She's like, I don't think so. Yeah, she's giving me the side eye.
Yeah.
Giving me the side eye. I've never been to one, Bailey. Don't you dare give me that side eye.
Bailey, what do
He
you
was like,
think?
Cam, do you believe?
You know what? I'm gonna give your dad the benefit of the doubt because I've known him for longer than you.
I don't know if that's true.
That might not be true.
That may not be true. I think she's very suspect of you. She really does
She
not
doesn't
want
like
that
it.
microphone in her face.
Speaking of Twin Peaks, though, and the David Lynch series,
Yes, which we have not seen.
right. So, my girlfriend, who's the best, knows that I love David Lynch,
Mhm.
and I love Twin Peaks, and like David Lynch is like one of my like cinematic heroes. It's like one of the reasons why I make films, all
Yeah.
that kind of thing. She took me to the diner that
Oh, that's cool.
sprung the whole thing. We
Yeah.
were in Washington. It was like close to
That's
her old dorm.
super cool.
We went there, and it's the diner in Twin Peaks is called the Double R Diner, and they have damn fine cherry pie and
Yeah.
all this stuff. And so, according to the myth and the story, is that like David Lynch went to that diner when they were looking for locations, and he got a cup of coffee and got a slice of cherry pie, and it made him want to make Twin Peaks based off this diner.
Yeah.
And so they've
Interesting.
made it look exactly like how it is in the show.
So they
all those
retrofitted
things.
it a bit to kind of
100%.
market it.
And
Yeah.
like now it's the Twin Peaks Diner. She bought me a shirt there.
That's
like I had a cup
super
of coffee and a slice of cherry
cool.
pie, and I sat where like Agent Dale Cooper, like Kyle MacLachlan's character,
Yeah.
where he sits, like his first time in that diner. I sat there with Jess, and like I ate a slice of cherry pie, which like this cherry pie was supposed to like launch all of Twin Peaks, which is this cult thing.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend's the best baker in the world that I've ever met, right? And I will honestly say Jess's cherry pie is better than the pie that started Twin Peaks.
So what you're
Wow.
saying is, she's your cherry pie.
Yeah, something that's a stripper song.
No, that's crazy. That's super cool.
Yeah, but that was the thing that happened.
Yeah,
with just Twin Peaks.
that's really cool. I mean, we haven't seen Twin Peaks. It piques my interest Twin Peaks does. But things that around it that have been inspired by it, I like is like Alan Wake. And I love that. And that was inspired by Twin Peaks. And we also watched a show with Matt Dillon called Wayward Pines, which had a super Twin Peaks vibe to it. So I'm sure I would love this show if I just sat down and watched it. And it's on Netflix, so I really don't have an excuse. But
it's slow. So if you don't have like the time to sit there and like watch something that's just beautifully cinematic.
Yeah.
But watch it.
Again, I think we discussed
what's beautifully cinematic that we've been getting into? Parks and Rec.
It is actually so cinematic.
Actually, we did just start watching Parks and Rec, and we are on the 4th season now. We got into it hard.
Leslie Knope 2020.
Yeah, yes. Leslie Knope, so good. And I mentioned this to Madison. So in The Office, because they're very similar, in The Office, by season 4, you've seen significant character change.
Yeah.
Like personality. Not really in this show. Honestly, they're very similar from first season to 4th season.
But we were also saying that in The Office, it's more like a organic. I can see them being actually these people who have made changes. Where in Parks and Rec, you're like, no, these people are caricatures.
Yeah.
They are not. You know.
They definitely went a little bit off the deep end on that one. They were like, let's make a government office and just not have anyone be realistic, so we don't get in trouble for saying anything political.
That's a main argument that my friends had in film school. Is that like the reason that a bunch of these like art school nerds didn't like Parks and Rec is because it was only good things happening to good people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And so there wasn't really much conflict. It was just more like, oh, I like them, and so we're going to give them things because we like them.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still fun.
I think it's hilarious.
It's
think
funny.
there's funny situations. There's lines they throw in there that crack me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And weirdly, Chris Pratt and Aubrey Plaza's like characters are like adorable together, even though they're like so weird.
I love them.
Yeah,
they're really
so
good.
Interesting. Love that. Well, getting back to Dwayne Dunham over here.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
He also directed a few episodes of The Clone Wars, which I am a huge fan of. I love that animated
it's one
series.
of the best series ever.
He not only edited for Twin Peaks, but he directed a few of the episodes as well.
Did he really?
Yeah. And he directed quite a few of the other Disney Channel original movies. Some of note is Double Teamed, the one about the two girls that go into the WNBA, and then 13th Year about the boy who turns into a mermaid on his 13th
and he swims really
birthday.
fast and he breaks records and his hands get all webby and it freaks me out.
So this dude loves directing films about 13-year-olds getting some type of power on that birthday. So that's his shtick, I guess. But let's run through real quick about the character or the actors that were in this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Of note, Debbie Reynolds, or as I know her, Carrie Fisher's mom.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Princess Leia's mom. She passed away in 2016. Bummer. She's probably...
Well, hang on.
She's a huge actress of note.
Does that make her Padme Amidala?
Oh my gosh, it does.
It does.
Did she pass away because of a broken heart?
God damn it.
No?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. Yes. And then so Marnie, that's her name. Yeah, Marnie was our protagonist.
Our protagonist.
Played by Kimberly Brown. Didn't you mentioned
Yes.
what was she in?
She was in Rose Red, the TV series of the Stephen King book.
Yeah, which I did not know. And you said Rose Red was based off the Winchester Mystery House.
Yeah, it's pretty much got the same plot line, but it's like one of those horrible like 4-part made-for-TV movies.
Oh, like the original.
But they were really good though, like in the sense that. I don't know. I really like the Winchester Mystery House.
Is it called Rose Red because wasn't Mrs. Winchester's name Rose Winchester or no?
I don't think so. No,
that's not her
Rose
name.
Rose Red was the name of the mansion that they go to.
Was the mansion set somewhere in New England, or did they actually set it like in San Jose?
No, I think it's in. Yeah, it might even be in San Jose. It's been so long since I watched everything.
Yeah.
But the girl who you're talking about, Marnie, plays like
Kimberly
the creepy
Brown.
little girl in the movie.
So she was younger when she was in that. So this is like later.
I think so. Yeah, she looks younger.
Yeah.
Than me.
So Kimberly Brown really wasn't in much. The other thing I knew she was in was Be Cool.
Oh, I knew she was in Quince.
Quince?
Yeah, wasn't that like
the other Disney Channel where her mom has like quintuplets or whatever,
and she has to be like,
you're right,
I'm the oldest sister.
You're right, she was in that, but I was trying to get outside of the Disney movies.
Oh,
and
just
she
outside
was,
that realm.
Yeah, she was in Be Cool, that movie. I think The Rock was in it, or he was in the other one, Get Shorty.
The other Dwayne.
The other Dwayne. Yes, and she holds the record because as a 9-year-old, she was the only one of that age who was in 3 Broadway shows at once. At 9 years old, she was in 3.
Do you know what show she was
I
in?
don't remember. It was listed. I didn't write them down.
That's okay. I was just
I recognized
so
all their
impressive.
names. Yeah.
At 9 years old?
At 9 years old. and then she went and did Rose Red.
She doesn't have to be in anything else ever again because she just raking in the money as a 9-year-old.
Probably not. And I mean, she's one of the few Disney child actresses that really leans into it. She goes to the Halloweentown festivals all the time. Anytime anyone wants to talk anything, she goes and does it because she loves it. And I think she writes children's books now or something like that.
Does she write the children's book Halloweentown?
Probably. I'm sure she does do something with Halloweentown, like write something about that. Now, the mom in this movie, Judith Hoag, I think is how you pronounce her name.
How do you spell it?
Hoag, Judith Hoag. Yeah, so we all know her as April O'Neil from the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. But she was also in Armageddon, which was the same year as Halloweentown. So she was in Armageddon the same year she took on the role of playing the mom in Halloweentown. Which I guess if you're like, okay, Debbie Reynolds is in it, sure, I'll sign on for this. I mean, who wouldn't?
It's a big name.
To work with Debbie Reynolds would be cool. She's done a ton of TV work, and she's one of only 2 actors to be in all 4 Halloweentown movies. She was in all of them. Which brings me to the next person, Joey Zimmerman, who played Dylan, the brother. He was the second person to be in all 4 Halloweentown movies. He also plays a young Hyde in every episode of that 70s show where there's a young Hyde. Yeah. So that's where me and Madison know him for sure because like I think there's only 2 episodes where they have like a young Hyde in it.
No, they have many more young Hydes, but he plays a very specific young Hyde.
Yeah.
Like, you don't watch that 70s show?
I haven't watched it recently.
Yeah. I remember him specifically, and there was a time where they were in a circle.
Yes.
And I think it was like the first time they smoked pot when they were like 13 or something. And I specifically remember him in that, which is really, really funny.
He's in the one where they're like, we never talk about anything different. And then he's like 7, and he's like, the government's out to get you.
Yeah, yep.
I've been chosen by Bailey.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, Bailey's loving on you now.
Also, like, she doesn't do this with anybody.
No,
like,
normally she's
only me and Jordan.
She's very skeptical of most people that come over. Although you've been over quite a bit now, so she's probably like, I know you. You're cool. Yeah.
But also, like, I am the dog whisperer.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you have a comfy onesie on, so she's all about that life.
She likes how sweaty it is.
Yeah, exactly. She likes having something to sniff.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Philip Van Dyke played Luke. He was the one who you thought that you knew, the creepy, the goblin face dude who decided to be a hot punk. I called him a hot punk.
Yeah, you did.
I am 30 years old almost.
You've been hanging out with me a lot.
Yeah. So here's what we know him more as. He voiced Arnold in Hey Arnold.
Yeah, he did.
He did a lot of voiceover work. This is one of the few things in person he did.
Okay.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I feel like I knew him from San Francisco.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. Like he lives in San Francisco.
Yeah, and I can't remember if like a friend of mine like roomed with him in an apartment there, but like I remember having interactions with this guy.
Yeah.
And like also granted, my graduate school San Francisco days were very foggy.
Yes.
Pun not intended about the fog in San Francisco.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you guys know what the name of the fog in San Francisco is? It's nicknamed.
Can I call my mom?
Yeah, your mom would know.
His name is just guess.
Hang on, I'm gonna say Paul.
Oh, that's close. It is a 1-syllable male's name.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe.
No.
Ben. Dave.
No.
I'm just naming off 1-syllable male.
Madison, do you have a guess?
I feel like I knew at one point, which is why I'm trying to rack my mind, but I really don't know.
His name is Carl.
Carl the Fog.
Just Carl.
Just Carl?
Yeah,
No, the
you
Fog.
don't say the fog. It's like, oh, Carl's rolling in.
Is that like
so funny?
Is that a real thing? Or is that just something you and your friends decided to
That's
do?
a thing. That is a thing.
We go and talk to people. They're like, no.
They're like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah. I mean, granted, I went to like a weird art school, right? Like
that's funny. Well, wasn't was fog one of your colors or clear was one of your colors?
Both of our colors.
Fog and clear
were our colors.
were some of his colors for his school.
Our school
colors.
Our school colors were clear and fog, and our mascot was the pigeon.
What?
That story never gets old to me.
Yeah, it's real.
It made the owner of the dude and Brian McDaniel himself laugh.
It's true.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so funny. But anyway, Philip Van Dyke, I had to look because I'm like, is this Dick Van Dyke's grandson or something? It's not.
No relation.
No relation, unfortunately. I thought that would have been super cool.
He doesn't ever say Steppentime.
No, not Steppentime. All right. How are you? How do you feel about that new Mary Poppins movie coming out?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
can't wait for that penguin scene.
Dude, it actually they're doing the animation like back in. When did that movie come out? The 60s?
Yeah, 19
or 50s, late 50s? No.
50s. 60s.
Was it 60s? Yeah, whatever. They're doing the same type of animation that they did for that. 2014, yeah. So Emily Roski played the littlest sister, Sophie. So get this. You guys were saying, oh, she was like adorable and everything.
Right.
Now she's a 2nd degree black belt, and she teaches like fitness and stuff like that. Like she's a badass now.
How awesome.
Yeah. So she grew up to not, and she retired. I think she came back for the 4th Halloweentown movie, and I think she retired from acting after that. She was just like, I'm not into it, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Man, I'm just going to kick.
She's like, let's stop while I'm ahead.
What's his name? Calabar?
Yeah, kick Calabar in the face.
I'm going to kick Chocolate Bar's ass.
Yeah, Chocolate Bar, exactly.
Yeah.
And then a few other people. Robin Thomas played Calabar,
right?
Or Chocolate Bar. He was also in the movie Clock Stoppers. That's the only other thing I knew him from.
We
did try to watch that.
Ago,
Granted, we didn't have the podcast at the time, so there was no reason to drudge through it. We stopped after about 10 minutes.
That's the first and only movie that I ever snuck into at the movie theater to watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I used to love that movie.
I thought that movie was awesome when I was a kid.
Right.
But now,
we couldn't get through it.
Yeah, I couldn't even watch the first 10 minutes of that movie. But yeah, Robin Thomas is in it. And then, so get this. I don't remember. Do you guys remember a person who was the hip sales creature? Was that supposed to be the dude who?
Which one?
The one that you were talking about, the broom guy who was like
the guy.
And you were saying you recognize his voice, right?
Yeah.
Do you know who that is? I did write down who that is.
No, who is it?
Kenneth Choi. Do you know who Kenneth Choi is?
That sounds like a familiar name.
So Wolf of Wall Street, Asian dude, one of the main cast in Wolf of Wall Street, right? Mm-hmm. And he's also in the Captain America movies. He was part of Captain America's screaming whatever people are in the first Captain America film. And then in the Spider-Man film, he plays the principal, who's the grandson of... What was Captain America? Is the Screaming Commandos or something? What were they?
Wait, you totally lost me. Which Spider-Man film?
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Homecoming. There you go. I was thinking about Tobey Maguire.
No. So the newest one with Tom Holland. Remember the principal?
That's the one I don't remember.
Okay.
Well.
Anyway, Kenneth Choi, you like Wolf of Wall Street. You remember the Asian friend of you don't remember him? He's like a pretty
Dude, it's this guy?
Yeah, show her a picture. That guy.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of chubby in Wolf of Wall Street. Like he gained a lot of weight for the role in Wolf of Wall Street.
This guy's in everything.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. But the what I'm most known for is I recognize him from Captain America. I recognize him from Wolf of Wall Street. But yeah, he plays like an Elvis weird zombie salesman in this, which was interesting. And then Rhino Romano is the
Ray Romano's
that's
brother.
what I thought. I'm like, is that not Ray Romano's brother? Crazy cool name, Rhino though.
Yeah.
He voiced Benny, the taxi driver, the skeleton.
Oh, the skeleton. That's
but
cool.
What's cool is he also voiced Kyle Katarn and Darth Raven from Knights of the Old Republic.
No.
Yeah. That's him. And he also voiced Spider-Man in a few of the video games and the Unlimited series, as well as Bruce Wayne at one point. Like, this dude had an extended voiceover resume I was super jealous about. Like, I would have loved to voice some of these characters that he got to voice. Like Kyle Katarn. Like, come on. That's amazing. So anyway, those are the actors. Let's get into the plot breakdown real quick. We'll just do it real quick because, like I said, that was about an hour and 20 minutes and nothing really happened. So we start off with the typical American family, but the dad's dead, we find out.
Yeah, in true Disney fashion. One of the parents is dead.
Exactly. Just the mom, single mom, three kids. Won't let them go out on Halloween night.
No.
We learn our protagonist, Marnie, she's really into weird stuff. Is quote unquote what her friends say, into the weird.
Yeah, she's into quote unquote weird stuff. She likes ghosts and werewolves. What a weirdo.
Yes, and pentagons.
She loves five-sided shapes.
She loves pentagons and pentagram. Pentagon Junior. For all you wrestling fans out there. So she's supposed to be the weird girl on the block or whatever, which I never really got from her.
No, she was just like
a normal chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have anything to add? Madison's like,
I just love that you said on the block.
On the block. Yeah. She's the weird chick on the block.
She's the weird chick
some
on the
some
block.
some people are Jenny on the block. Some people are the new kids on the block.
That
She's
was
the weird kid on the block.
When I said that.
You know what? Our listeners may not be old enough to know who Jenny on the block is or who new kids on the block
Right,
is.
yeah. You don't want to be fooled by the rocks that she's got.
Yeah,
She's still Jenny from the
Jenny
block.
from the
she used to
block.
have a little, now she has a lot.
How old is she now? Because she hasn't aged a day.
J-Lo?
Yeah. She's got to
like
be in her 50s.
40s.
Is she in her 40s? I feel like she's got to be in her 50s.
She's like, I think I just saw online that she just had her 82nd birthday.
She looks great for 82.
She looks great for 82.
So Debbie Reynolds comes. She's the grandma of this family.
Yeah, she comes off of a flying bus.
Flying bus. Miss Frizzle was flying it.
Sweet.
For all those Magic School Bus fans out there. And she is a witch, we find out. And so we're realizing that the kids are witches and stuff. What? Why are you laughing at me? My wife's like, you're terrible at plot breakdowns.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about those podcasts where they like explain a movie poorly, and
I am explaining it poorly. I'm drunk explaining it.
She's Jenny from the block, but she's also a witch, and we find out she's on a bus. And
so we'll scoot along. Kids get on the bus without Grandma knowing. They go to Halloweentown where Grandma lives.
Okay.
They are trying to help Grandma because there's some darkness going on in Halloweentown.
Because the pumpkin's light is out.
Yes. And that's how they know. And people are getting mad. They're angry. Not just because, road rage is a thing or like get off my lawn because I'm getting older is a thing too. But, they're getting mad for no reason. We get there. The kids find Grandma. They meet a taxi driver that is a skeleton, which I will tell you a fun fact about him, is a robot. It looks like claymation, but it's a robot, which is super weird because it doesn't look like it should be animatronic.
So it's like a robot skeleton, or it's a skeleton that's pretending to be a robot, or it's an animatronic?
In real life, it is an animatronic robot.
Oh,
it's supposed to look like a skeleton. In canon, he's just a taxi driving skeleton.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And he makes jokes. He likes to make afterlife jokes. And he's probably got a bone to pick with you, too, because of your poor portrayal of him.
I'm appropriating his culture.
Yeah, exactly. You're stereotyping it. What was the racist joke they made?
It was a racist joke about ghosts.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, Sophie puts on like a sheet over her head, and she's like, "Woo!" And he's like, "I don't appreciate your stereotypes."
Yeah. So ghost shaming over there, that's a thing now.
Yeah.
So kids find Grandma. Grandma's like, hey, we need to do this spell to stop the darkness. Something happens. Mom shows up going, why did you take my kids? And
which is
I don't know why they turned into Southern people. But
she's like, why'd you take my children? She's like, well, I wanted to stop the evil taking over my entire town. She's like, well, build that wall.
Build that wall. Get off my lawn. I can shoot you. That's my God-given right. So Mom comes, is like, no, the kids, it's too dangerous.
What if God actually did give you the right to shoot people?
Hey, that was not the 11th commandment. It got written off. He's like, maybe I shouldn't give people the right to shoot other people. So we meet the evil thing, Calabar.
Yeah, Calabar.
Oh, no, we don't know it's Calabar yet. Calabar is the mayor. We meet him. We just know there's an evil dude that's like a cosplay of Emperor Palpatine, pretty much.
Yeah.
They
like
meet
mixed
him.
with Squidward.
Yeah, mixed with Squidward, and he had plastic surgery, and the stitches are still across his face. Yeah. It's really weird. Madison, how do you feel about this?
What do you mean?
You're just being quiet. Like, why did I sign up for this?
No, I'm listening. I'm listening to your plot
so,
right now.
First off, so we started talking a little bit near the middle because I think we were getting a little bit, not bored, but like, all right, we know where this plot's going.
I also had 3 drinks, so I couldn't.
Yeah, and we were eating pumpkin cupcakes and whatnot. But why were they in a movie theater? Like, they meet the evil dude in a movie theater.
The guy, the little boy who's the bad guy, says, like, he tells her, oh, you want to see what's happening? I'll take you there. Oh, so
he lured them in.
So he takes her in, and then that's when she realizes, oh, my gosh, you've been taking these people's souls. And then he's like, they're not dead. They're frozen. And then.
Okay, so bad guy freezes Mom and Grandma. Yep. So the kids are left. Now, bad guy, I think his name was Luke or something that you just said that lured him in. He felt bad because he was like, oh, no, I didn't know he was going to be, like, doing bad things. Oh, no. So he's like, I want to help you guys now.
Yeah, he was like, I feel bad for doing bad things to be sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the...
Which is, I will never feel bad for doing bad things to be sexy.
And as you shouldn't. No. That is another God-given right.
It is, yeah. Right next to my shotgun.
Yeah. So he decides to help them. They have to collect all these ingredients to make the spell, which is the sweat of a ghost, which I have a huge problem with. Logistically, that doesn't happen.
But you don't have a problem with like werewolf hair or a vampire
seen
tooth.
A ghost, you don't know if they can't sweat.
You're right. I've never seen a ghost, but they can't sweat. I'm just calling it now.
How do you know?
Yeah, you don't know.
Well, have you ever seen deodorant for ghosts in the store?
Yes.
Obviously not.
Ghosts
they
don't need to go
sweat.
to that store because they're all in Halloweentown, and
you.
you've never been to a Halloweentown store.
All right, fine. I won't perpetuate the stereotype of ghosts anymore then.
You also won't perspirate.
Damn it, Cam.
It was a terrible joke. I'm sorry.
So, yes, they get the sweat of a ghost. They get the hair of
that joke stunk.
That joke stunk. I'm trying to think of something I could use BO for. Nope.
If you had an extra O to BO, though, it's boo.
I like it. Perfect. All right. So they have to get the hair of a werewolf.
Right. And a
who
vampire.
I guess werewolves are just gay hairdressers in Halloweentown.
Which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Whatever.
I mean, who else would you trust more with your hair than someone who is just like hairy?
That's true.
That's true.
Right?
Complete
like they've got,
hair
especially
body,
like someone who is hairy that like cares about grooming. I feel like they know lots of things about different conditioners and different treatments and like different
So they
lengths.
really thought this through.
They did.
They decided.
Yeah. Dwayne Dunham really thought this through.
Yeah.
And you know what really sucks now is now I have a way too high of a prerequisite for my next barber.
Yeah.
Who am I going to find that's covered in head to toe?
You need to find someone with hypertrichosis.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'll have to go to the Guinness Book of World Records and find the barber in there who does that.
And then a vampire tooth.
Yeah, vampire tooth they had to get as well.
My biggest childhood fear.
Vampires?
Yeah.
Now, why was that?
2 reasons. One, because as a child, the idea of something sucking all of the blood out of your body is terrifying.
So you didn't like mosquitoes either?
You know what? I didn't even make that connection. But yeah, no, I still don't like mosquitoes. I don't know.
That's true. They are right.
2, shout out, Mom. Love you. When I was a little boy, when I was 4, my mom dressed up like a vampire and scared the crap out of me.
Was that the intention of doing it?
Yes, she did it on purpose.
Oh, man.
And I was like, Mom? And she was like, I'm not your mom. She's like, I'm a vampire. She's like, I'm gonna suck your blood. And I was like, Mom, what? No, Mom. And she was just like, ugh. And like I like sobbed, broke down, cried. My mom felt bad. She's like still feels bad, but like that's the main reason.
So that's why she took you to sushi today?
Yeah, making up for it 20-some years later.
24 years later, she was like, you know what? Like,
oh, that's
you need
that
to
was
get
wrong.
over it. Yeah.
Was that when it was? Was that because Twilight had just come out and she didn't want you to be in the Twilight? I gotta scare him.
Yeah, my mom did that to me when I was 20.
Yeah, exactly. This Twilight crap.
Yeah, no, but that was the main reason why I was afraid of
so
vampires. And then like
crazy.
I had persistent nightmares about my family members being vampires or like vampires eating my little sister.
I
like,
get that for sure.
Yeah,
That's
I was
crazy.
terrified. And so, yeah, I was afraid of vampires until like probably, I mean, to be honest, until I was like 16. And then I was like, that's dumb. And then like now if like someone was like, yo, I'm a vampire, I'm going to eat you. You bet your ass, I'm still sleeping with the covers all the way over my head. Like that's how it's happening.
Well, as we learned in the movie Darkness Falls, as long as you have the covers all the way over your head, you're safe.
Right.
Is that what it was in Darkness Falls?
Yeah, because it was if your eyes connected, then she had to kill you, and she wouldn't stop till she killed you. So if you just kept the covers,
the first 10 minutes of that
you've seen
movie.
Darkness Falls, right? So
No,
I showed
no,
Madison.
I haven't.
What did you say?
I have not.
You haven't seen Darkness Falls?
Just watch the first
Just-
10 minutes.
Yeah,
It
the
gives
first
you
5 minutes
biggest
is all it's
creeps
worth it.
ever.
Yeah, so they did a great job. Like I watched it when I was probably 13 or 14 years old. I saw this movie, and it was one of the first like scary films I saw because I was trying to be cool with my friends. Which I'm glad it turned into that because they originally were like, "Hey, let's watch Final Destination." I was not ready.
I haven't seen
I was
Final
not ready for that movie at that age.
I've only seen the first one of those.
Yeah, I was not ready for that movie. So I'm so glad that they didn't know where the DVD was, and we ended up watching Darkness Falls instead. Anyway, I remember that movie scaring the crap out of me as a kid. So I'm like, Madison, it's kind of campy, but let's watch it. So the first 5 minutes are horrifying.
Really scary.
Done so well. Perfectly done. I'm like, oh, so this movie's going to hold up. This is great. from that moment on, it just takes a huge dive bomb into Turdville. Like, it was not good after that moment.
But it's worth it.
The acting was terrible. Yeah, but the first 5 minutes is awesome. It was great. So go watch just before the opening title crawl kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, essentially, as long as you keep your covers over your head, you're good.
I'll watch it in the middle of the day.
Yeah, because you don't like scary things, so maybe that wouldn't be too appealing to you.
Halloweentown was a little too spooky for me.
There were some creepy parts with the Muppet.
Yeah.
You didn't like the Muppet?
I think the weirdest part was that the Maytag man was just in the crowd for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, literally, a milkman chilling in that crowd. Like, what is he doing in Halloweentown?
Calabar also had a puppet friend for less than 2 minutes, and they didn't even explain who the puppet friend was.
Yeah, it was in his office, right?
It was his person that was like, because they were like, somebody is coming.
Now, I was over making a salad during that time.
Why was it?
Was he?
Cam was not happy about.
Did he look like Salacious B. Crumb a little bit? Worse than Salacious B.
What is Salacious B.
From Star Wars?
Yeah, he's like the little
quick.
Yeah.
Jabba's friend.
Oh, dude, I could do that
if
way
I
better.
don't know the name, why would I know the sound it makes?
It was the little Kowakian monkey lizard that lives on Jabba the Hutt that sounds like this.
Yeah. That's
like
better. Yep, that's what he sounded like.
That
yeah. And so that's that.
Yeah, the guy with the deep voice on your podcast just made that sound.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Where were we?
I don't know, but I hid behind a pillow during the puppet part.
Calabar. We were talking. Oh, they were getting the ingredients.
That's right.
They got all the ingredients.
Yeah.
They made the spell.
Yeah.
They did some stuff. They went down. They had to face the evil dude.
Yep.
They found out it's Calabar,
the mayor.
And you know what his logic was? Why he wanted to turn everyone bad and evil to go back to Earth and just torment humans? Was that he was butthurt that the girl he had a crush on when he was younger went to Earth and ended up marrying a human.
Right. He just
that's pretty much was his reasoning behind it.
Heartbreak can do a lot to you.
I guess. But I also was...
but also, how much of that is heartbreak and how much of it is like just thinking you're an entitled male to a human woman?
Narcissism.
Maybe both.
I think there was a deeper level in the writing of this movie that we just didn't catch on to till now. I think we're pulling back the layers and we're realizing...
Yes, that this is a feminist film.
This is a feminist film. Dwayne... What if Dwayne Dunham is actually a chick? And by chick, I say that, and that just like made me sound like a
just
complete
the whole thing.
Fascist.
Why did it make you a fascist?
Chauvinistic guy.
There you go.
I
That's
am.
totally different. Those are two different things.
I'm fascist and I'm chauvinistic, and they are not mutually exclusive. So they end up going against him. They do some stuff. They have a fight, kind of. It was pretty lame and pretty quick. He tries to... I guess Luke, the guy, the bad boy punk guy, he redeems himself because he plays the decoy, gets frozen, and then Marnie's able to take this thing, a talisman they called it, I guess.
It's a lightsaber.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is a talisman technically? I thought a talisman was just like an artifact of paranormal descent.
Which is what that would be.
I guess that's true then. So they take this thing that looks like your Sailor Moon toy from when you were a kid. Yeah, the scepter. Yeah. It pretty much looked like that, just painted differently. They drop it into the big pumpkin. The pumpkin lights up. It stops Calabar for a second.
And Calabar's like, oh, no.
Yeah, but then it unfreezes everyone. And once everyone comes out, then he's like, ha, screw you, and takes the talisman out using his force powers because he's Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
And then it took... it pretty much was like that part in Elf where everyone had to like sing to believe.
No, it was the part in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, it was exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy. Good call. I like that. They had to hold hands, and then weirdly enough, they had to dance off right afterwards to save the universe. They didn't have that. But you're right. They did hold hands, and did they actually say a spell, or did they just hold hands?
No, they were like humming.
Yeah, they just believed.
Okay, so they believe.
You gotta believe.
Yeah, you gotta believe. Seeing is believing, but
you don't know what
isn't
that's
seeing.
from.
No, what is it?
It's from Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, man.
Did you ever watch that? It was a video game.
That was a game that I never understood as a kid, and I didn't realize.
But you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what Parappa the Rapper is. That like 2D little dog
Chop
with the
Chop,
mini.
Mr. Onion Head. If anybody knows that, I will be best friends with that.
She showed me some levels on it when we were dating, and
I've showed you some weird stuff my dad showed me when I was younger.
And some of the rapping was not actually rapping. The words, you can't rhyme the same word with the same word. I'm sorry.
You can't when you're a 2D
dog.
Yeah.
Dog with a beanie on.
I still know all the words to all the levels because that's
give us a little breakdown.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, it's true though. When I started dating her dad introduced me to some weird stuff. We watched this weird anime one night about like a vampire who like went out to try and find people and there were boobs in it or something. Animated boobs. You remember that? What was that? It wasn't Blood Rain.
What was that called?
Do you remember that time Madison's
Vampire
dad showed
Slayer
Jordan
D?
hentai?
Vampire Slayer
Yeah, hentai. Yeah, right.
Hentai.
Vampire Slayer D. Vampire Slayer something.
Yeah, it was Vampire Slayer something. Yeah, so he showed me that.
Old anime.
There was some other weird stuff I'm trying to think of.
I mean, we gotta have a whole other podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
That's a whole other podcast. Stuff Madison's dad showed me.
Wreck my view of reality.
Wreck my father-in-law.
Wreck my father-in-law. So yeah, they end up humming, holding hands, and beating Calabar, and that's the end of it.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Exactly. That's what it is. But yeah, that was the end of it. It was kind of anticlimactic. There were good moments. There were some good lines. I like the microwave that said "bubble bubble toil trouble." It had that thing, cool. And then underneath it, it was like beef rare 120,
yeah.
beef medium rare.
Yeah, it was just like a regular microwave that they just put the 3 different buttons
I'm like, why didn't you get rid of that? Or put something like toad rare or like something not like you're eating
something
beef.
a little bit more clever.
Yeah, you're not eating beef in Halloweentown.
No,
Give me a break.
No.
Like, come on. So yeah. But yeah, so let me ask you guys real quick.
Okay.
Did that wreck your childhood?
No.
You thought it was
I thought it was
good,
just
Madison?
as good as I remember.
Just as good as you remember it?
I mean, you got to take it as like the fact that it was like a fun thing you watched when you were a kid. So if you were expecting too much, then
true.
not so
And
much.
I think you said before that you had seen it more recently.
Right. I showed it to my students last year around
she wants you to call on her.
Halloween time.
She's like, my turn.
I showed it to my students around Halloween time, and I was like, "This movie was like fine. You guys might like this." And my students were like, "This movie sucks,"
because they're snot-nosed brats,
and they also didn't grow up with it.
That's
so
true.
Like, it doesn't hit them in the heart the way it hits us, right?
It's the same thing.
100%.
I love Labyrinth because I grew up watching it,
Labyrinth.
and then he had never seen it until he was an adult, and he was like, "What the heck is
Oh my
this
God, I
weird
love
thing?"
Labyrinth,
I
though.
love Labyrinth.
It's funny that puppets scare you, but you love Labyrinth.
See, that's a whole other thing. It's like it's a specific kind of puppet, and that's exactly what I told Madison while you were making your salad. I was like, "There's a very small percentage of puppets that scare me,"
and that was one of them.
It was one of them. I didn't like its eyes, and that's what freaked me out. It had human eyes, but like not human body.
Oh, that's true.
And that freaked me out.
How do you feel about those? Was it you actually that showed me the creepy baby realistic things, or was that you? That was you.
By the way, total side note, did you show him salad fingers?
No, that's what we're gonna do
you
for
know salad fingers.
Salad fingers is one of my favorite things in the entire universe.
Oh,
my
I thought
gosh.
he didn't know it.
Oh my
then.
gosh, so
Oh,
creepy.
there will be nothing on the
I
internet
like
that you have
rusty
found that I have not found.
spoons.
So salad fingers was gonna be the next video I was gonna show on our Wreck My Internet episode.
Oh,
but
sorry.
maybe I won't.
I didn't mean to jump ahead because I thought maybe Cam would know it, and he does.
Well, obviously, because I think Cam knows anything that's unsettling on the internet.
Jeremy Fisher, what do you taste like?
Honestly, I had never
like
seen it, and she
rusty
showed it to me a few weeks ago, and it's so. I don't know, like if you described it to someone, like if we described it to people right now, they'd
Salad
be like,
fingers?
They'd be like, that sounds not weird at all.
Oh,
but if
it
you
gives
showed
the
it to them,
weirdest feeling when you watch
you would
it.
cringe while you're watching it.
I
because
love it.
That's
It's one
what
of
it
my
is.
favorites.
And you just sent me something recently on Facebook, the Lima Bean Boy.
Oh yeah, Lima Bean Man. He's a
Lima
full-grown
Bean
man.
Man. That was weird.
Yeah, so
I don't like claymation. Claymation creeps me
My favorite
out.
part
I
about that
love
claymation
claymation.
is that it's just his head and the body is a human body.
Oh, it's so
The way that
freaking
they
weird.
superimposed it. It's one of my favorite videos ever.
Interesting.
And my sister and I have been singing that song to each other for like the past 6 days.
Well, it's weird because it
Nice.
starts out and it looks like it's going to be like a weird commercial from the 80s or something.
Yeah.
And then it just devolves into nightmare fuel.
It's one of my favorite.
Devolves.
It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite artists. If you listen to Wreck My Internet, I will talk about that artist.
Okay.
next time. Yeah.
Cool. We'll bring it up then.
Yeah. chime
But
in.
so this didn't ruin your childhood, Cam.
No, and I think that when I watched it, I was like, I had an idea of what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it since I was a kid up until last year, which wasn't long ago, right? It was like a year ago, pretty much today, since I saw it. And I still feel the same about it. Like it's a cute movie about cool Halloween stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was cool because it's like a bunch of creatures and things. Like you don't expect too much of it as an adult. You're like, it's a kid's movie. I liked it when I was a kid. Don't expect it to be like the Goonies or whatever, where it's like, this thing that you can watch as an adult and relate to it just as much as you did as a kid.
The Goonies is excellent.
Yeah, like
Love
there's certain
Goonies.
movies, or Stand By Me. There's certain movies you can watch that
love
as a
Stand By
child
Me.
you relate to, and then as an adult you relate to it on a whole other level.
Right.
This is one where I'm like, okay, I'm letting the child in me take over right now because there's no way as an adult I can relate to this movie, but I can still enjoy it for what it is.
Sure.
So I feel like that's what Halloweentown is. Now, what are your tops and bottoms? Who are your favorite and and least favorite characters in this?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I feel like I never liked the mom. Even when I was younger, I didn't like the mom.
She just seems kind of like
Which is funny because you guys said she's April.
April, yeah.
I
April
never
O'Neil.
knew her as that. So I just knew her as the annoying mom.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't like her. My grandma's probably my favorite.
Favorite character for me is Sophie.
Yeah, Sophie was cool.
She's cool. She's just like cute and fun,
Yeah.
It's like the innocence of a child. She can do like the
100%.
best magic.
which is like something that will always hit me on my heartstrings. Is like the whimsy of youth, like
Sure.
and like that pure imagination that'll go on forever. And she's just like, I just pushed it, and I wished that it became a frog, and I was just like, oh, bless your little tiny heart. Like,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
you
right?
so much. Yeah, and like. There's like stupid lines in movies or things like that that will make me cry. Like where I'm
Aw.
like a little kid. Like, okay, in Hook, for instance, it's the smallest line in the world, but Tink says it to Peter Pan, and it's like, I don't remember when it is, but she goes, how are you going to be Peter Pan if you don't believe you're Peter Pan? And like, that's such a small line,
Yeah.
but like every time that happens, I become like a hot mess because I'm like,
Aw.
you can apply that to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's amazing.
That's
And so like
awesome.
when I watch kids movies like this, like it's like, oh man, like if only everyone on the planet still had like the ability to imagine and create and like believe it purely in the way a child does,
Mm-hmm.
like everything would be great.
Yeah. That's why The Santa Claus is my favorite Christmas movie.
That's why I make art.
I don't make art. I make podcasts where I make lame jokes and people listen to me. That's me.
That's your art.
Miss Jordan.
So what was yours? You said your favorite was the grandma.
The grandma.
Least favorite was
The mom.
You said the mom. How about you, Cam?
My least favorite was probably Calabar because there were no stakes with him as a villain.
You mean Willy Wonka?
Yeah, he was the world's worst villain. He
Yeah.
had his motive was so lame.
Oh,
That's
terrible.
He
And he had no one like backing him either.
he just like showed up. He was just like, I'm the mayor and I'm
Yeah.
mean.
And everyone's just
And
kind
we
of
were
standing around
okay.
like,
I'm sad because I
What?
didn't get laid. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, sorry, Virgin Calabar.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God forbid this woman like married some dude she actually loved and had a family and is like happy. And you're like, oh, I'm going to destroy the world because I didn't get this one woman. And it's like, grow up, Brett Kavanaugh.
what? All right, getting political.
I can't help it. It's who I am.
And then who was your favorite character?
I already said Sophie.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad.
Are
Man,
you like not listening? I answered, and
I-
then Cam knew my answers.
I'm a
but you didn't
terrible
know my
host.
answers.
Sorry, who are
Hire
your
me.
favorites, Jordan?
Hire me. I think my favorite, I liked Dylan because
I
he
did
was
like
Because you
just-
relate to him.
Yes, I relate because he's just a curmudgeony old man at the age of 10. Like that was me. I would not like if my friends were like, "Let's go on this adventure." I'd be like, "No, I want to sit at home."
What if they have
You'd be like-
expired food there?
Yeah,
what
exactly.
Am I gonna do?
Self-expired food, and then do you know what kind of fumes you'd be breathing inside?
Yeah,
that?
exactly. I would never go out on Halloween. Like I did for a little bit, but there were like 5 or 6 years after age like 7 or 8 where I was just like, "No." And they're like, "Why don't you want to go?" I'm like, I could stay here and not be hot and sweaty in a costume, and you can just buy me a bag of candy, and I don't need to work for it, and I can sit and watch TV and eat a bag of candy. And that was my thought process. I had no imagination to go out.
I mean, your logic is seamless.
yeah,
But, at the same time,
I was
like,
also a 50-year-old,
you're a
10-year-old.
50-year-old, 10-year-old.
Yeah. So I think I just relate to him on a deep spiritual level. So he's my favorite. Least favorite, Calabar, I didn't really like either. I just felt like he was just so boring.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of someone I hated more than him. I mean, I didn't like the Luke character either. I thought
He
that
was
was
boring too. He
lame
was
and
useless
boring.
also.
Yeah, he was like literally thrown in as a plot device that they could have easily used like a prop for instead of an actual person.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like someone could have like pulled a lever and be like, whip, you're frozen.
Yeah. So I mean,
but we found out why they really wanted him at the end to be the love interest.
Yes, as Cam said, they almost made it to the end of the movie without having the catalyst be a male pushing the female in a direction.
Oh my God,
it couldn't
we were
have just
so
been
close.
the female heroine doing what she does and being Laura Croft because.
With no man. Like, why does she need a dude to, like, be a good witch? It makes no sense.
Because it was Disney Channel in 1998, subliminal messaging to children.
Like, I understand the part where she could be like, yo, you're cool no matter what you look like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's what they
cool.
were going for.
But she didn't need to be like, he didn't need to be like, oh, to go on a date. She's like, oh, a date with me? Oh, this makes me excited. Like, I only like boys because I'm 13. It's like, you just change all of this, like, badass young woman who's, like, going around. She's like, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this because I believe in myself. The things I like are what I like. I'm going to save my entire family, and I'm going to save this entire town. Like, that was the whole movie. And I was like, whoa, way to go. What a role model for young women. And then she's like, instead of, like, owning it and being like, hey, you know what, that's cool, like, I just did my thing, like, why don't I ask you on a date?
Sure.
If she's interested, right? Like, let's not pretend like people aren't attracted to people. That's the thing.
Right.
But if she was like, hey, let me do this, it'd be a whole other twist than him being like, well, I'm ugly now, so I can't ask you on the date. And then, like, she has to give him a pity kiss because of toxic masculinity, so she doesn't, like, break it for him and feel bad later, and then have him destroy the whole town because they never went on a date.
Right?
I think that
and then it starts all over.
Yeah, it starts
again.
all. It's the bad cycle. I think she even said, like, until you started helping me, I wouldn't be able to do it or something. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do it if you didn't help me. Or I'm like, that's not true.
No,
you could have easily done it without his help. First off, the reason you were in this predicament is because of him.
Yeah.
So, like, he's pretty much just reconciling, getting you back to zero. So don't be putting, like,
it was a cop
points
out
for this guy.
It was a cop out love story that never panned out.
It wasn't actually
it was
a love
unnecessary.
story. Yeah.
Well, we need to watch Halloweentown too and see.
Return of Calabar.
That's true. When Calabar returns, maybe, like, Marnie and him get down or something.
There
I
you
have
go.
no idea.
Why is every sequel like the main villain from the first one revenge? So we have Empire Strikes Back,
Right.
Return of Calabar,
Right.
Revenge of Jafar. Yeah. Aladdin 2, Revenge. There's so many where it's like the second one is just like, hey, this guy, remember him from the first one? He's back and he's mad.
Oh, snap.
If he was mad in the first one, he's even maddier now.
You're totally right. You remember, like, Terminator 2?
Yeah, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Terminator 2, Arnold's Revenge.
Arnold's Revenge. Remember Alien's Revenge also?
No,
Aliens?
it was the revenge of the letter S. Alien to aliens.
That's true. I remember that.
Ripley is mad.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you poked holes in my story.
No, it's all good. I was just being a smartass.
Now my balloon has a lot of holes and water's leaking everywhere. So I have some fun facts about this.
Let's
So
do
it was
it.
a water balloon?
Yeah, it was a water balloon.
I thought it was a regular air balloon,
Nope,
too.
water balloon. Fooled you.
You got me.
I love water in most things. Water balloons, water beds,
Water chestnut.
water chestnut, water buffalo. I just love water.
God, those are a thing.
Okay, so I have some fun facts. There's only 4, Madison. Only 4 fun facts. Okay, you think you can handle that?
Yes.
You're so over me right now.
No, it's
so
just so much.
Halloweentown. So we talked to your girlfriend Jess before this.
We did.
And she is going to Halloweentown, you said, soon,
Yeah,
right?
she is.
Yeah. So Halloweentown's an actual place. It was filmed in St. Helens, Oregon, which is where you can go yearly. They have a month-long event in October where they turn it back into Halloweentown. And they have tons of cool stuff you can go do. Kimberly Brown, who played Marnie, usually goes to it. They usually have some fun stuff going on. But what's really interesting is that before they started filming this, the town was basically deserted. Like, no one...
Really?
Yeah, like, everything was run down and shut down, so that's why they used it.
It was, like, essentially a ghost town.
Yeah, essentially. Like, there were people that lived in, like, the outskirts and stuff, but no businesses were functioning for the most part in town. So they were like, cool, let's shoot here. And since then, it's had a resurgence. Like,
That's awesome.
people moved in,
that's awesome.
businesses went in there. It's doing good now. It's still a small little town and everything, but it's
like
cool.
20 years strong.
Yeah, it's great. What's 20 years strong? Wait a second.
He's
That
saying
sounds
since the movie
familiar.
came
Since the movie came out.
Oh, since the movie came out.
Not 4 years
There's
strong.
a band called 4
20
Years Strong.
4 Years Strong is a band.
Yeah.
And isn't it from a movie too? That just gave me some weird type of deja vu. Never mind. Okay. So yes, good for
I also
them.
like that all of us like pop punk.
Pop punk?
Oh, that we all like pop punk? Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean
like Bayside For Your Strong. Like we
Yeah.
all know
Yeah.
who these people are we're talking about. If you don't know who For Your Strong is, I have my
fun.
back to the camera right
Yeah,
now.
you do.
I'm literally sitting just talking to you guys.
Yeah.
If you don't know who For Your Strong is, go listen to them because they're amazing.
They're awesome.
What's the song that I like? That
You
they
like
sing about the family member that passed away? or the band member? Yeah.
One Step at a Time.
That one.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Great song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably one of the best songs they have. Now, my second fun fact, I already said Benny the taxi driver is a robot. We talked about that. So, can you guys guess what the original budget for this movie was?
$6.
You would think. I was shocked. I was shocked.
Including
Is it
paying for
significant?
Debbie Reynolds?
Yes. So, what
Okay,
the
so it's
There
original...
has to be a
more.
little bit more significant.
$43 million.
Okay.
No, I don't think that much. I'd say like 2 million.
Okay, it was 20 million, which I thought was shockingly
Why are
high.
we always like in the
Yeah,
middle
middle.
of what
I
it
don't know.
should?
I thought that was shockingly high for a Disney
It
Channel
is.
original
I shot
movie.
very high
Yeah.
just because you went
But
how emphatic
They
you said shocked.
went grossly
was
under...
like 10 million of that Debbie Reynolds.
Well, here's the thing. They originally were told 20 million is your budget.
Okay.
And Disney came back and was like, oh, actually, we don't have that much. 4 million is all you get. They cut them 6.
So I was closer.
So you were close.
Yeah, you
they
were way
cut them
closer.
so they actually only had 4 million. But they were supposed to get... Disney agreed at one point
Up to
to give $20 million towards this movie. What?
Although, does it
that's
really?
crazy.
I mean,
That's a lot.
that's a lot of money for the movie we just
For
watched. I would not say that's a $4
for
million
1998.
Oh, and
where-
that is $20 million of $1998.
Yeah, where movies back then, blockbusters were maybe what, 80 to 100 million in that time, if that. Biggest
no,
blockbusters. Not even that high by that point.
50.
Okay, 50, because I know that like now we look at blockbusters that have like 400, 300 million dollar budgets, and that's normal to us.
Yeah.
Back then, like 40 million, that's like a theatrically released action film would
Yeah.
have this budget.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, 20 million.
Still absurd.
Like, yeah.
That's absurd.
Like that's absurd. Like if you think about My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I think was filmed for like $600,000.
But the thing you have to think,
Like-
I guess, is for Halloweentown, like all the artists who had to do the prosthetics and had to do the
Right.
makeup every
Those
day and had to do like, because at first I
Yeah.
was like, for all that green screen stuff, but I'm like, there was quite a bit of
Actual
talent
real stuff.
behind
No,
it.
there's
and
a
no matter
lot.
how cheesy they were, they still had to be built.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And that stuff's
That's
expensive.
true,
And
and
that's
it's
a lot of time.
It's a lot of stuff, a lot of time. You're building some creature shop to do this. That's true.
And they're supposed to be cheesy because it's a kids movie.
Yeah,
Right.
They're not going to make something like slimy.
And they had to
oozing and
build the
disgusting.
skeleton robot. I mean,
that's
Yeah,
true.
they
The
did.
robot did cost a lot of money.
Yeah, there's
I think
all-
that was the largest production cost. Was the robot? I think that they paid more for that than Debbie Reynolds to be on it,
Maybe.
which is crazy. And then that hair dryer that blows fire.
Oh, that thing's cool.
Yeah, that's a practical effect. It actually is a hair dryer that blows fire. That wasn't.
So they had a little girl squeeze the trigger on that.
Yep.
Way to
And
go, 1998.
Kimberly Brown said that was her favorite day of filming.
Of course it was.
Because it was real. Like, that's so crazy.
So
and
our
cool.
buddy Cole that's been on the podcast before, he was at his shop because he's special effects tech for Marvel. And he was talking to me one time about this guy who was just like testing out a blowtorch for a practical effect. And like Cole like looks around the corner and this flame just goes like and Cole was just like, what is going
What
on
is this?
over there?
Yeah, that's so,
like
crazy.
so they still do that. That's still a practical
Oh yeah,
thing.
I think that we've seen a shift around early 2000s. CG was like the big thing. Everything was CG.
everything was CG.
We're shifting back towards people having more respect for practical effects.
Because it looks real.
If
'Cause it
you go,
is real.
this is practical, people are like, whoa, what? Where back in the day it was like, this is CG. People would freak out about
Right.
that. So I think that's cool. We're getting back into the practical part of it because it's real. You can tell things are real. Like that looked real. Like the CG in this movie was awful. So you could
Yeah,
tell when things were
because
fake.
that was real.
And that
That's
was
why
real and it looked real. So that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my fun facts. That's the movie Halloweentown.
that was a good amount of fun facts.
Yeah, just 4.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it at
good.
4 from now on, not 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys have anything you want to add about that movie we just watched? Or
No, you did
I
a
think we
good job
covered
covering
most
the
of it.
Yeah, I think it
basics,
was pretty good.
yeah, I think it was good. Did you have a favorite line from the movie?
I mean, now that I know that chocolate bar is a diss,
Yeah,
that's
right?
Super
Pretty,
diss, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Get out of here, chocolate bar.
I forgot what the the line was that I quoted back to you guys.
Halloween is cool. Nature boy.
Halloween is cool. Nature boy.
That was good.
Did you have a favorite line?
I was trying to think of one. It's probably something Dylan said.
Probably.
Oh, was it about the Aurora Borealis coming out of his fingertips?
That too. That was pretty good. Yeah, I pretty much anything that kid said cracked me up because it was just like, you or me.
I think when he turns like 16, it's like mom barges in his room. He's like, Mom, I wasn't doing anything. It was just the Aurora Borealis.
Oh, that's the same excuse I used.
Me too.
Anyway, so here's some plugs. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at RecMyPodcast. Shoot us an email over at recmypodcast@gmail.com. We're on all major podcasting apps and YouTube. Leave us a review, a rating, subscribe to things, all that fun stuff. We have a Patreon. Go check out our Patreon.
Yeah, I think you guys should because you know what? I'm willing to do this for this episode only. Okay, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
If someone subscribes even the minimal amount, I'll draw you a picture.
Oh, there you go. Go do a $1.
One time only for this month only.
Yeah, $1 and you'll get a picture.
Which is like tomorrow's the end of the month.
Well, this comes out in October.
Oh, you're right.
October.
And it'll be a Halloween themed drawing.
Halloween themed drawing.
That's
Okay.
cool.
And I will do it for this entire month. So every person that subscribes this month, no matter how low your tier is, I will give you the top tier for your lowest donation for this 1 month.
There you go.
Nice.
Let's get on it, people.
Yeah.
And give us more than $1 if you want to. That's totally cool.
Yeah,
too,
you could
though.
totally do that.
Yeah,
That'd
go
be
for the
great.
20.
Because I'd be able to buy more like pens and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We need to support our local art.
Me, I'm the only one.
Yeah. So we have that Patreon. And then thank you guys for doing this, watching
Thank
this movie,
you.
eating some fun stuff, and drinking beer and everything. And thank you to our listeners, because without you, we'd be just a sad group of people talking to no one.
Yeah, we would.
Okay.
Listen, you don't normally sign off by saying I love you, but listen, this is going to be me patting your dog's belly. Bye, I love you.
Better than the ship.
Bye, I love you.
I think we're all sorts of good here.
Oh gosh, is that another list of 50 billion fun facts?
Yes, it is.
My least favorite thing. Cam, do you agree or disagree? Is there a threshold
come
for
on.
when it's no longer a fun fact?
Come on.
No, I love all the fun facts.
Oh
Yeah.
my
My fun facts are
gosh.
nothing but fun.
After
all
like 7,
fun.
they're not fun anymore.
I think
they're
still
boring
fun.
facts.
No, I think they're all fun.
They're
I
facts
think
that
I
have
take-
gone on for way too long.
I take each fact like as a new fact that's presenting itself. So it's like I don't look at them as like a list of
How
the millions
deep
of
of
facts.
you.
Yeah, each fact has its own level of poignancy.
Let's see. There we go. Those are all consistent now. Okay, so
It's almost made the dumbest joke ever.
taking each fact.
No, not even. I was like, hey, look at my boner.
Oh no, now Jordan's going to be laughing for the next 5 minutes.
Oh, that's great. Cam has a boner.
I don't belong here.
Oh, that's
Madison
so
has
funny.
a bone
I'm
to
just
pick with me.
Yeah, that's so
Oh,
awesome.
man.
All right,
Well-
I'm going home.
Yep. All right. Goodbye. On that note.